Imagine my surprise. There I am on a Wednesday afternoon in late April, watching Valorant, feeling fine, and then all of a sudden, boom! I'm hit with the longest map in Tier 1 VCT history. It takes 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete one map of Valorant. And we're going to try and tell this story as quickly as I can. So we have a lot of things to get to in this game, of course, but one of the things that was really a theme throughout of this marathon map, not just towards the end where you might expect play to get a little sloppy, but even towards the start. This was a gluey game. There was glue all over the place, as you're going to see. And even from the start, round number 5, here we go. BBL, they're on an eco. But just watch the start of this round.
Around like this, but yeah, the fact that BBL are the ones taking Pearl out then in the second round of bans as well, I agree with you, Tom. It is a bit of a head scratcher. You always wonder what the thought is behind it. We won't find out, I guess, until the post-match interviews. The conversation. Whoa, Yassine it is! He's gone for the forward dash, a staple of Yassine, and one now. Wish he didn't try to steal away. Levin's got 2, and a little bit more!
So I'm sure you can agree that that round was a little strange. Great play by Levin there, but still a little strange. But we can come to the very next round to see some strange things that BBL were doing as well. Because guess what? It wasn't just FUT, it was also BBL. Take a look at this round where BBL, they're going to come for this BXX here. Keep note of this KO knife, because you see this KO knife in here, that means that the KO is on B, right? Well, guess what? Krags also has his ult this round, right? So, okay, the KO's on B and has an ult. But what are we going to do as BBL here? Well, we're just going to do straight BXX into this KO ult. What else do we have potentially to get here? Well, we're one off a KO ult and a Teo ult here. So surely, when we're just doing this full B main exec, surely we're going to grab this ulto before we go and do our B exec, right? You know, hopefully get KO ult and stop them from maybe popping their KO ult if they're not ready for it, right? That would make sense. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that? What do you think, little chatter, as BBL begin to run in onto the site?
Got a jet on either side. Both of them performing. Looks like it could be fun. Cracks will be the one to find Levin, though. And without, as I said, he's at a 4K and a 3K in the 2 rounds that BBL have managed to win. Without him, they have next to nothing on the board just yet. Timing, well, it looked good actually for Yumpy, but Mr. Farlin has still managed to come out on top. This round was one built by the last, but it's looking like it's going to go right back in the other direction once again. Mr. Fallen should finally be isolated, but they still need a hero, and with an immediate trade,
Wits in his weapon, one found.
And what I do want to hammer home is that this game was full of moments like this, where we are entering in onto the site, you know, whilst getting KO ulted. But even watch, I mean, because here pops the KO ult, right? So now we're out of util. The rest of our team is not out yet, and yet Levin just decides, well, this is a great time to take that swing, I guess, on my own. No util, no help, even possible, into, you know, what is likely 2 players. Like, you know, not great. We take the spike up here alone. You know, we're still getting suppressed. You know, this game was full of moments like this. But it wasn't just limited to the first 12 rounds. No, if we swap the sides again, and now FUT are on the attack side, it's 9-5 to BBL. They've won the pistol and the second round here, so they don't have the best guns. But take a look at what's going to happen, because we're going to get a little B split here coming from FUT. They're going to go and try and do this, which on the map right now looks like a pretty good idea. Yeah, BBL have pushed out A main, but you see they seem to have beat the timing just here. They're in a good spot. Problem is, we're just going to be a little off here. Zeus is going to be looking the wrong way. Magnum hits that shot. Okay, that's fine. You know, we're still in an okay spot. But now we start to get crazy again, because what's going to happen? Oh, Atta Captain. You know, we're in a 4v5, right? Like, let's not rush it. Okay, we've seen where he is. I mean, during all of this, by the way, our Sova still has a Sova dart. So despite the fact that our duelist is already dead and we're now coming into the site, we still haven't used a Sova dart. But that's not great, but whatever, okay? Atta Captain, you might see down here is 4 seconds off a smoke that he probably needs to put in just here, but decides not to wait for that smoke and instead run out and instantly die. So that obviously isn't great as well. And then we're going to have another death. And now it's a 2v5. So you can see that this game did have some mistakes in it, but now it's a 2v5. Surely nothing crazy happens, right?
make that 3. It looks like FUT are completely capitulating in these moments, not clearing the back of the site, which currently only has 1 man within it. And Magnum's job really just stay alive as long as possible, make it as awkward as possible for him to be cleared.
And get those tags. Great call from Magnum going out for a little more. I thought it was a bit cool.
What?
It's falling apart. BBL looked set to hammer a nail into the coffin, and it was damn close.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that this was. But you know what? We hadn't even really started. And thinking about it, had BBL won that 5v2, they might have saved us all a lot of time. But instead, we kept going and kept getting rounds like this.
Towards B main, try and take some of that control away, and that's a great start. Levin will pick off Yedege. That means that any play needs to be a little bit more direct from the side of Foot because they don't have that map control anymore.
They want to take that back on BBL, move towards B main and get the rifle, but sent back by Krax' knife. The A side under threat. And
Okay, so this one was just a little joke. It's now a 4v3 for Foot, and they're against the Nico buy, so surely they're fine.
bad positions, and a quick conclusion to that duel leaves the A site in the hands of Foot. A plant found, and everything they could want in the back of it. Even their flank protection had come in late, thanks to the rotation of Krax to cover their back.
Here.
BBL will struggle to get anything else done in this round. For Foot, it's just going to be a patient display as they... Oh my goodness, Levin! Relax, he's found another!
Oh, got ya, because actually Levin wins the round for BBL with the Guardian. You didn't expect that, did you?
A fourth, in fact! The young gun of Levin denied the ace again! And it's Krax looking to pick up the pieces with just sociable. A round that could go BBL's way, a stick to half.
Oh yeah, actually no, they didn't win the round. Krax won the 1v3 as well. Again, you're getting the idea of what kind of game this was. Okay, so now that you've got the flavor of kind of the map, we can now head in towards overtime. Here we go, round 25. And the thing is, BBL are playing this comp. It's a triple initiator, no sentinel, duelist comp, which obviously is quite an extreme comp, but they are playing on Ascent, which you might know as a very defensive-sided map. In fact, the last time that BBL played on Ascent with pretty much the same comp, they had changed to Yoru for Jet, but they won 0 attack rounds against Team Liquid, so you might recognize Ascent as kind of a defensive-sided map. What's an interesting quirk about this map as well is that BBL, despite winning 0 attack rounds the last time they picked Ascent, decided to pick Ascent, which in and of itself was kind of crazy. But what happened from here? Well, I mean, it got even more crazy, right? So, we're here on the attack side, and the thing about this overtime is, it actually was attack-sided, particularly at the start. No one could win a defensive round on Ascent. Now, for BBL, when they were on the attack side, really quite a few of their rounds ended up looking somewhat like this one, where really they were abusing this B site and abusing kind of, you know, Foot setups in general. This time they're going to go for a B split. On other rounds, they just kind of went straight towards B. But essentially, a lot of their rounds, particularly in this early part of overtime, did start towards this B site, and this was the kind of weakness in Foot's defense. And you see the BBL, you know, we get a nice attacking round here, right? Like they start off with this default, you know, they don't kind of show their hand too early, and eventually they end up coming for this B split, and they are going to manage to, you know, get in there. You know, they have a nice bit of control. They're here now. You see that Zeus is worried about, you know, potentially some lurk up here, so he's just left these two guys alone. And whilst they do an okay job this time, this was honestly one of the best performances that they had, which was to even just get a kill.
Damage. Krax at the back of sight was impressive, but I feel like this is going to be a ruse. Try and sell the idea that maybe Yedege is elsewhere, maybe he's not swinging. Solid flash, both peeking off the back of it. They've been stunned up in the corner of the site, but yet to be cleared, and eventually both go down. Time was ticking, but the hold was solid from BBL.
And obviously, this is what BBL's comp really should thrive at, right? Particularly when you're coming towards this B site, you're playing triple initiator, you should have the util to potentially deal with the multiple layers that you're going to have to do, right? This is a really good Teo stun just here, you know, that really puts a lot of pressure onto the Foot players, and they're able to deal with it. And then Profek is able to clean up as well, and they are going to win this round. Now, on the opposite side, when BBL were on the defense side, and they kept getting these map points over and over again in the first part of OT, they tried to go for some kind of aggressive plays like this one, right? So we're trying to peek out of mid here. We're trying to, you know, find something, go for something a little bit cheeky, something a little bit different, but it just wasn't kind of working for them. As you'll see here, they're going to, you know, try and be aggressive. They're going to try and find Yetege and rat him out just here. You know, we got 3 players pushing in towards mid, but that also means that they're giving up this A site completely. Right, so, okay, we are giving up the site, but we're hoping to, you know, find this kill and end up in a 5v4. But unfortunately for them, things like this kept happening, where Yetege, despite getting seen just there, does get a kill before he eventually gets traded, right? At this point, though, you've just completely lost the site. You're in a 4v4, the spike is already going down. You know, these two are still quite far away, so you can't start the retake straight away. and Foot will be able to close it out.
Need to worry about salvos will give that away. Goes the paranoia, the swing from Zeus as a response though. Just as they want to push, he goes pushing into them. Tagged up, but he goes down below. A little bit of extra armor from the wood as Ada Captain cleans it up. The attack side again.
But there is no greater proof that people struggled to win a defensive round at the start of this overtime than this round number 31. Because when we watch this one, oh my god, it's unbelievable. So BBL, who again had been kind of abusing this B site for quite a while, what they decide to do is go, okay, well this time, you know, we're already on our fourth overtime attacking round here. We're going to fake as if we're coming to B, like we have done quite a lot already. And then we're going to instantly pivot and go actually, no, we're going towards A instead, right? So you can see here, they put the smoke across and they're going to run up towards A. Now, at this point, they kind of get a bit lost, I think. I don't know quite what they think they're doing at this point. It seems quite strange. I don't really know. This is not really a round that you often see. They seem a bit lost. They seem a bit confused. So they decide, okay, well, we don't like that. Let's walk back instead. But as you can see, they end up walking straight back into Yetajay, right? Who's inserted himself deep here. And Foot, you know, have dealt with this kind of fake attempt pretty well. And we end in a 5v2. Now, at this point, we are going to get a little trade there through the Wolf and Prophet to make it a 4v2. But it's a solid 4v2. Foot are in good positions. And so surely this should be the round where we see a defensive win.
He's going to hear the Prowler, know that one's already made it to the site, and just looks to try and hold his ground.
10 seconds left.
Knowing that there's a potential attempt to get aggressive when you're this far down in a round.
It's been nothing but attacking rounds. This is Foot's chance to break the mold, to find themselves an advantage that may see Ascent back in their hands. This province can be seized, and this is the first step to success. Prophet and Magnum stand in their way. It's now just one, but they're desperately low. A few shots landed, and it's back in BBL's favor.
All I can think about when I see Mr. Fallen try this jump is the Simpsons scene where Homer tries to jump over the gorge. This is the greatest thrill of my life. And then he just slowly falls down. Oh dear. Yeah, really no one could win a defensive round. But did you know that every couple 100,000 years or so, the magnetic poles of the Earth actually flip? And I think it happened during this game because it was so long. Because at this point, round number 33, everything changed. Because up to this point, no one had won a defensive round. But then from this round onwards, no one could win an attacking round for ages. It was crazy. All it took was Atta Captain, as you're about to see, absolutely popping off. And then no one decided that they wanted to win an attack round.
Spoilers? What? Oh, like a trigger bot.
He knows his dash distances. Oh, little tag on Mr. Fallen, but Atta Captain returning a bit more damage. 3 pickups. And it's looking like he needs a little more, in fact, because he's closed in on my social.
What is happening?
The attack side, again, coming into a resurgence late in the round. That was a 4v2, but blink and we're back to even footing. Damage done to Sociable, but one away from the ult that will now be acquired in the back of this plant, but he should be dead. Yetajay's got the wrap, he's got the read and the spray, not quite there, but Cracks picks up the pieces.
And so what I like about that round is that, of course, again, even though the defensive side starts off in a 5v2, it still ends up being pretty close and ends in a 1v1. But again, as we kept going forward, kind of the attack round started to get worse. And of course, by this point in the game, you know, the players are probably just knackered, right? We're going to do an A exec here for Foot, but just take a look at it. Because whilst the first part of it looks absolutely fine, there's no one else even, like, trying, like, by the time that Zeus is entering onto the site, right? Yeah, there's Omen Paranoia's here, but these guys aren't even, like, trying to get in onto the site, right? I mean, like, Zeus is out here for ages on his own, and eventually he dies getting revealed by a Fate Haunt that no one's there to shoot for him because no one else even got close to entering in onto the site. And we got quite a few rounds starting to look like this where, you know, just things were a bit muddy again, messy, and you know, none of these exec were working for either teams, and so we kept winning defensive rounds. And we kept going until finally in round 44, it came to an end where, again, BBL go for, like, we'd gone through cycles at this point where BBL go back to kind of their initial overtime ideas where they started to get aggressive. They played rounds without being aggressive and trying that. This is another one of those map points for them. They tried to be aggressive, and this time it does pay off for them, right? They're going to find the first kill in the round here. We are going to get a trade here. So you see this aggressive play again from it. It's a nice bait with the Jet getting out there as well. Okay, Cracks trades are out, but it's not the end of the world. And so you'll see BBL here, they are going to start to take charge of this round as this exit comes in from Foot, but they're here, right? This time, BBL, they've reacted in time and everyone's here, right? So the whole squad is here. Foot aren't expecting them to be there that quick, and so they're going to take advantage of that and, you know, start mopping them up. And at this point, the game finally ends.
It's down to just add a captain, another clutch needed, and he can just teleport to the other side of the map. He can plant for himself as he'll take this 1v1.
It's it wide open as well. He could go spawn, mark it into the boathouse. Magnum has to clear it all. 15 seconds until he has a haunt, so he takes it slow, takes his time. But with no idea where this player is, and look at the nasty little spot that Ada Captain's found himself. Taking no chances. He knows by now that the play is not through spawn. He's hearing the steps even now, the door closing. Knows exactly where Magnum is, and he just faces, swings wide, but misses every single shot. Time bought, the Prowler will confirm his position. It might get him half. Magnum's gonna stick it, the swing out. He's not making it now, pulls his gun out, but it's too late. It's too late, he needs to kill, and he doesn't have time anymore. It's done, and a captain's pulled it across the line.
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't the end of the game. Sorry, Ada Captain wins, of course, the 1v3. Clutch gets a 4K and wins the round. And I'm really glad he didn't lose this round, because imagine if they lost this game 23-21 and he whiffed that shot to lose the game. So I'm really glad that Foot didn't lose in that manner, because that would have been, you know, pretty tough as a way to lose the game. But yeah, he ends up winning this round, of course, because this game simply must continue. And that is honestly really what it felt like, right? Like, even in these rounds where clearly one team is favored, it really didn't matter. And what's so strange is the round that actually did end the game, which was round number 48, by the way, was a round where, again, BBL are going to go for some aggressive defensive play. It's not really going to work out for them. Again, as you see Foot deal with this pretty well overall, they end up coming out of this, you know, on top. And Foot are going to look like they're in control of the round, and you know, things are going just fine for them. So, you know, like, it's a 4v3 at this point, and you think that Foot are fine. They end up coming towards the B site, which is the correct play, right? We're going to get into the B site. We end up in a perfectly fine scenario. We're here in on the site. The spike crosses as well. You know, it's a 4v3, and all, again, looks very well. But, of course, it is kind of fitting for this game to end on a round where it looks like Foot are absolutely fine.
Little hope for them to turn this one back. Sociable. Be the focus here. They're going to have a decent idea that there's a player still behind them that they need to deal with. An open plant ready for that Yedige lurk to come back through. And I'll be honest with you, it seems like an oversight. They've completely forgotten that he's there, swinging in from behind, but they found every single pick. Time is ticking though. Yedige left to try and do it all. Needs to try and save this team one more time. Hits